Hello, hello. It is the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger, coming to you with another episode of Podcasting Your Purpose. That's right. This is actually episode number 111. That's right, 111. If you've been following me along, you know I was coming to you every day, Monday through Friday, not the weekends in September. But in October, I decided just to do Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's right. 2 days of being live streamed here on StreamYard on YouTube, 2 days of blog posts on Delaware Blogger blog, and 2 days on podcasting. So 222. That's right, 222. Today is episode number 111 on YouTube. So we're going to be talking about how to repurpose your podcast content. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be talking about this as well this evening on the in the Knowledge Academy, the EC Podcast Media Knowledge Academy, where we were presenting bi-weekly webinars, and they are full of information. And tonight is the last night for me for my presentation, and then we'll start again in 2021. So stay tuned for that. Let me give you the link so that you can write this down. This is the EC Podcast Media Knowledge Academy. That's right. This is for new podcasters, for veteran podcasters to listen and learn. Again, it's about an hour and a half every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. We cover topics ranging from how to start a podcast up to monetizing podcast sponsorships. And tonight I'm going to talk about repurposing your podcast content and a lot of other good tidbits. But today I just want to briefly pop in and talk about repurposing your content, because podcasting is now growing by leaps and bounds, with more than 50% of all Americans listening to podcasts on a regular basis, whether it's daily or weekly. I know I love to pop my earbuds into my ears when I'm taking my morning walk to listen to other podcast shows. And if you're not listening to other podcast shows, or you're looking for a podcast to listen to and you want to learn more about podcasting or more about blogging, make sure you check out every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Anchor FM is the Delaware Blogger Podcast, where I give you more podcasting pointers. And then on a Wednesdays, that's tomorrow, for those of you that are watching today, because you've rung that bell and you got that notification. So today is Tuesday, tomorrow is Wednesday, and every Wednesday at 1 on Blog Your Way to a Business Profit, I bring you blogging tips and trends that's going to help to turn your passion into a profit. And these podcasts, 15 minutes. I hit it and I quit it, like one of the topics I talked about the other day, because I just want to give you enough information so that you can start, so you can begin to use your voice, your vision, and your mission to leave that legacy. So that's what I talk about on Wednesdays, blogging, and then on Saturdays, I talk about podcasting. So again, podcasting is no longer a fad. It's no longer the future. It is here and it's now, and people are listening. Lots of people are listening to podcasts, but that doesn't mean that everyone wants to listen to a podcast. When you use the term mainstream medium, that kind of turns people off. So if you're creating some great podcast episodes, you've got some good content, but not everyone is listening to it. It's not like they don't like your voice. It's just that they prefer not to consume their entertainment, their education, their motivation, their inspiration via earbuds when they pop them in their ears or put the headset over their heads. Perhaps they want to read when they may want to watch. That's why you should repurpose your content. Remember, it's never one and done. And if you want to expand your brand, broaden it to a wider audience, get more exposure online, this is what you need to do with your podcast content. Repurpose. And we're going to talk about repurposing your content. And this is great. You're taking the existing content that you've already created. You're not recreating the wheel. You're taking the content. You will take those show notes, or you will have your show notes, transcribe. There are many companies out there that will do it for you, or you can do it yourself. And you will turn that content into written blog posts. If you don't already have a website or a web page that is hosting all of your podcasts, you need to do so. I currently have podpage.com, and I will leave the link. It's a referral link in case you want to check it out as well. A great way. You just put that RSS feed in. So every time a new episode is dropped, it goes right into that website and you can share with all your fans and your followers. So make sure that you've either created a web page or a website, or just add a tab to your current website or a tab to your current blog. On dellblogger.com, I have articles on blogging and podcasting, as well as my services page, as well as a podcast page. So you can go and you can listen to all the previous episodes, or you can read them if you prefer reading as opposed to listening. So you want to do that. You want to get your content into the hands of as many people as possible. So take those show notes, either transcribe those show notes, type them out in a Google Doc. Have a company like Descript. Descript is another great company that will take your content and turn it into, written. So you can take that and put it in a blog post. You can also create an article on LinkedIn. Yeah, that's another great way in which to share your information. LinkedIn, or articles on Medium. That's another great platform that people read, Medium. So you can get that information out to them. And you know what? Include the link to your podcast just in case they want to listen after they finish reading it. Take that and expand on it. If you had a guest and you want to share the guest information, their bio, and all that other information that you didn't get a chance to cover during that podcast interview, you can include that into a blog post or an article. And then you can have links back to your guest, or links back to any specials, offerings, or giveaways that they are giving to your listeners. Social media. Obviously, you can create graphics. Canva is perfect. If there's some quotable notables that you want to share, you want to create, turn those quotes into some sort of graphic and post them on social media. Post what the episode was about. Give a few sentences about what the podcast show was about with a link to the show. That way, as people are scrolling through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever the case may be, as they're scrolling through, if they come across a quote, because they love images, graphics, or like one of those audiogram from Headliner, that's another way you can repurpose your content. They may stop, they'll read about what the podcast episode was about, and if it's of interest to them, if it's solving a pain point for them, if it's asking them a question, they may click that link and go listen to the podcast. And that way you turn that reader into a listener. Speaking of audibles, videos, headliners, teasers, create little teasers. If you're on Anchor FM, now they've added the option to create headliner videos. Those are great as well as you're scrolling through your social media, because 9 times out of 10, if you're scrolling through, most times the volume is off. But if you see those wavy wave lines going through, then you know there's some action going on behind that mic, and you will click the speaker on and perhaps even listen to that teaser episode. And I believe some of them give you up to 10 minutes of audio. So people can listen to at least 10 minutes of your audio. You can cut out the intro and the outro, and they really get the meat and potatoes of your podcast episode, especially if it's about 15 or 20 minutes. So use headliners, use audio bursts to repurpose the content, to repurpose that episode, so that, again, as people are scrolling through their social media feeds, they will stop and they will listen. Video, YouTube, perfect. Not only can you create a whole YouTube video about a podcast episode, but you can literally record on Zoom and then upload it to YouTube. So you can have your guests and yourself on Zoom, and then you upload it to YouTube so people can watch you. They can subscribe to your YouTube channel like you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that you can press that bell so that every time a new episode is dropped, you'll get notification. Then you can watch it and share it with your friends, your family, and your followers. So that's another great thing to do. Create a podcast episode using Zoom, upload it to YouTube. You can actually go live like I'm doing here on StreamYard. That is a great way to also get people involved in you. Or you can go live on Facebook, or you can go live on the Gram. You can go live on a lot of different platforms. Just make sure you've got everything set up. You've got your microphone. You've got the sound quality good, because again, people are watching you and they are listening to you as well. So you can repurpose your content by going live. Email marketing and newsletters. Each and every time you drop a new podcast episode, you should send an email to your subscribers. I'm not sure if you're using MailChimp, Mad Mimi, Constant Contact, whatever the case may be. Make sure that you are creating an email or a newsletter at least once a week, once a month, whatever the case may be, and send them the information. Not only that, but you might even want to embed the episode that they can listen to. And that's another great way to get more people, because most people do scroll through Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and then they get lost in the black hole because they're going and looking at birthday parties and everything else. But when people are going through their email, they're more laser focused. They're kind of saying, what's in my email box? Do I want to keep this? Do I want to stay subscribed to it? Do I want to unsubscribe to it? What's going on? So again, email marketing, newsletters, perfect way to repurpose your content. If you're going to write a book, you can repurpose the content that you have into a book, which is what I did with the basic blogging tips for beginners. I took a lot of the information that I used when I was teaching as an adjunct at Dell Tech, and I put it in this book. So again, I went from blogging to a book. So you can take your podcast episodes, take the show notes, and turn it into a book. You can also turn it into e-courses and printables. As a matter of fact, I created this printable here, Repurposing Podcast Content, for you. If you want a copy of this printable, Repurposing Podcast Content, let me know. Leave a comment below or send an email to me at info@ablakeenterprises.com. 5 steps to repurposing podcast content. I also created another double printable. And when I say double, it's because it's two-sided. Okay. Repurposing podcast content tips. I give you tips, videos, quotes and graphics, blog posts and articles, email and newsletters, as well as other forms, ebooks, white papers, articles, YouTube videos, Facebook Live, webinars, seminars, downloadable. And then on the back, it's the same thing, but it gives you an idea of what you want to do with the repurposing of your content. So again, if you are interested in either one of today's printables, just send an email to me, info@ablakeenterprises.com, and put in the subject line, printables, PDFs. Put in the subject, repurposing podcast content, printables, PDF, and I will send you the link to each of these. So again, repurposing your podcast content is a perfect way to get yourself out there. It's a great way to share your content with others who may not be listening. You can create blog posts, you can create newsletters, you can create graphics, you can create videos, you can recreate infographics. All this can be done really easy on Canva. So you should be using Canva. And you can give a little bonus information as well when you're sending it out in an email. Let people know, say, here's the link to a previous episode to get people interested in your content. So you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your audience for it never to be just one and done. I may listen to you on a regular basis, but I may want to just sit down and read. I may want to read further. So that podcast can go into something deeper if you turn it into an article. So I'm so glad that you guys gave me just a few minutes of your time today on this terrific Tuesday. It's a beautiful Fall Tuesday here in the state of Delaware. Again, I'm going to be coming to you every Tuesday and Thursday with Podcasting Your Purpose episodes. And today we talked about how to repurpose podcast content. There are so many other ways in which to do so. If you are interested in learning more about starting your podcast, make sure you send an email to me. Let me give you my email address again to sign up for your 30-minute complimentary discovery call so we can talk about what it is that you want to talk about, what topic in your niche, your intro, your outro, your description, how you want to connect with your target market audience. So I'm offering the 30-minute complimentary discovery call and then get you signed up for the coaching session. That's right. It's a 2-hour coaching session. And we go through Podcasting Your Purpose resource guide. You get this as part of the what is it? $159. It's going up next year. That's why I couldn't remember what it was. But in the Podcasting Your Purpose book, we go through what is a podcast, why start a podcast, the power of podcasting, planning a podcast, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Podcasting like a pro. What hardware and software will you be using? Podcasting promotion pointers. Podcasting for profit. And speaking of podcasting for profit, you will get a copy of the Pitching for Podcast Sponsorship Guide. That's right. Another resource guide. You actually will get 2 of these. And we're in here, you're talking about podcast to paychecks. That's right. How to pitch for sponsorships so that you can monetize your podcast. Then the book, the resource guide, goes into podcasting for profit, podcasting hosting plans, as well as creating a free podcast on Anchor FM. So you need to sign up today for that. I am booking. This week is a good week. Next week is a better week, but the following week is open. So if you're available on the week of the 19th, make sure that you sign up. Send that email to me so we can get you on the calendar. Actually, next week I will be presenting to Delaware State University students. Going to be talking about social media savvy. Whoa, I've got a lot of information to give to them with all these changes, with what's been happening since the quarantine and the pandemic. So again, thank you so very much for giving me just a few minutes of your time today to talk about how to repurpose podcasting content. And until the next time, stay smart, stay safe, and stay social. Still from a distance. Mask up, people. COVID don't play. And I will see you in cyberspace. See ya.